Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna make that a little bigger for you guys. All right, hang on. Let me get the monitor up. I don't know why I bother to put the monitor up anymore. It doesn't work. Well, it's not that the monitor doesn't work. Facebook doesn't work with it very well. All right, so let's see. Where am I? There I are. Okay, let me get the shares done. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's go with that. No, wait. Let me get it in Sunny's group. All right. Does it have it? Okay. All right. So you might have seen me do the other one of these. This is a second rendition of this layout, this painting, this composition. The other one had a different color underpainting, color scheme. And this one, actually, if you watched me underpaint this, I did some more underpainting on it yesterday. So we've leveled the ground out a little bit farther on this side. We shaded the trees in a little bit more. We shaded all of this, changed the shading on all of this. And so it's pretty dark right now. So, yeah, gonna come out pretty good, I guess. So let's do something. Let's get it oiled up and we'll be ready to go. Hey, Billy. Y'all say hi if you're out there, so I know you're out there. All right. I haven't cleaned my palette off from my painting yesterday, so we'll have to kind of work around some stuff today. Let's start off with a flat brush, though. Let's oil this canvas up. This is some liquid clear that I made. There's a video in my library about how to do that if you'd like to make your own. Feel free. It's really easy. Super, super easy. For as much as they charge for it, folks, you can have it custom tailored for your own life. Just do that. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to lay this completely out. I kind of have some ideas around the color. But this will be, I might do a freehand landscape here in the next week or so, but then I got some portrait kind of, my summer girl series, I want to finish that. I'm going to be focusing on those figures somewhat, quite a bit. So, I'll probably do a lot of lives on those. We'll have, we'll do some skin toning. Of course, we've done that in other ones, but we'll talk about that stuff some more as we go. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Put them up there. I'll look up in a second. Any questions over there? No? All right. Okie dokie. All right, let me just tilt this a little bit so I can make sure I got all that covered. No, I got not. There's a spot in here that needs to be covered. This is a pretty lean mixture I've got here. It's gonna dry relatively quick compared to like some things you could have. But anyway. I'm not going to beat this brush, I'm just going to knock the oil out of it. Alright. So I got liquid clear on the canvas, and of course it's underpainted. Now we're going to swipe some of that back. I don't get too much on here. If you get too much liquid clear on your canvas, it'll make your paint run. It'll make it so slick that your paint will slide right off the canvas. Alright, let's get going here. Let's talk about this. So let's start off with some Indian yellow. So let me put some of that on the palette. And then we'll kind of work it from there. Hey, Anthony. How's it going, bud? Yeah, this is the underpainting. Needless to say. What are we going to use for brushes today? Let's start off with filbert. This is a number 8 filbert. Doesn't say it's a number 8. I can't see what it says actually. So let's just start kind of laying some of this color in. I'm going to kind of glaze this over. Kind of wipe this off on the palette before I brought it to the canvas. You'll see this is going to go pretty far away. We're going to go right over this tree. I want that yellow to show through. Maybe. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Anthony, I noticed there's like this weird thing going on with Facebook. Like, I can see fine on the projection camera, but on my monitor camera, it doesn't show the comments up about half the time at all. None. Zippo. I'm just glazing this right over the top of that. I think we'll just keep this right along the edge of these trees. Of course, then we want to carry it out that way too. But let's glaze it in here. And then we're going to add some more colors to that. Alright, that looks okay. We'll carry it all the way up here. Yeah, it looks okay. Alright, let's take some, I got some on the canvas. I have some alizarin crimson on the palette, so let's pick that up. Let me wipe it out. I need to get this liquid clear out of my way. Alright, so we're just wiping it clean on the canvas, on the palette. Wiping the brush out. Test that color a little bit right here in the trees. Yeah. We're going to blend all this in a minute. We're going to go up above, a little bit above this yellow, this Indian yellow. So we start to kind of scrub this in here. Not too concerned about brush strokes in particular, just at a moment. Hey Anthony, y'all settled back in? Y'all, you seem like you're kind of back in the groove pretty much. I saw your little brother, this picture. That was a funny comment you made there on that part. All right, let's blend this a bit. Let's blend this a bit. All right. We're just going to use a fan brush here. What kind of fade this color? We're not going to blend it all the way smooth because we want it to be, wanted some motion up there in the sky. We're going to add some more color to this in a minute, but for now we're going to kind of blend this out. Splend it. Just blend it out. There we go. All right, now we're going to bring it down to the yellow. Just kind of pull that color, borrow that color down. Kind of give you the impression maybe there's some clouds up there. Maybe a little bit of a streaky kind of. We're just kind of using it's like, why is that light flashing? It's actually, this brush was cutting that, cutting my view of that light off over there. Of my overhead. I was like, oh, where's the light blinking? It's not blinking. Your brain is blinking. That's what's blinking. All right, let's move some of that crimson down into this tree a little bit. And then bring that all the way down just a little bit into the tree. Like that. And then kind of off. Alright. Hey Bruce. How you doing, buddy? So I've enrolled in Marion Dutton's portrait class. I'm a MAS associated painting partner anyway, so I wanted to learn how to do eyeballs and all that good stuff. So I've enrolled in that course. We'll see how that goes. So far, the underpainting part I already have down pat pretty much, I think, but I want to learn how to do some of the detail stuff. Emily's been coaching me along pretty good, but I can't take up all of her time. She's busy. She's busy. She's not always busy, but she's not too busy for me. That's what she'd say. But, you know, you don't want to infringe on somebody's time all the time. All right, that looks pretty good. It's coming together pretty good. So let's add some. Got some ultramarine blue on the palette from yesterday. Let's pick up some of that. We're not going to clean the brush yet. We're just going to kind of darken this corner, maybe darken this corner. Right above these trees. Just a little bit. Not a lot. That corner down there is going to be dark automatically, so we're not too worried about that too much. All right. So I didn't clean the brush because that was my blending brush that I just used to put the paint on. All right. So let's clean the paint. Let's clean our blending brush so we can blend now. All right, let's blend that out over here. So we want some of that dark color to show through. Some of that mid-tone. All right, let's pick this back up. I'm going to add some paint to the canvas without too much of a layer. It's really light glaze. You don't use much paint in this type of painting. You want to leave some of that red and some of that blue to kind of merge together there. All right. Emily might join us today. She's in a thunderstorm. That doesn't give her a very good internet connection when that happens. So she might make it, and she might not. It all depends. It all depends on the weather. All right. I'm pretty happy with the way that's blended. I'll pull some of that cloud cover down like that. All right. So let's add a little bit of highlight. So I'm going to pick up some titanium white, just a touch. I'm going to scrub it in right here along this tree line. We'll carry some of that onto the trees. Not too much of that. All right, let's wipe the brush out. We won't clean it, we'll just wipe it out. So if you're not taking any of Marion Dutton's courses online, you're missing out if you're an oil painter. That's where of course, you know, I always carry it further than the lesson, but it's kind of where I did her tiger, and then I did my own tiger, and then I did some other underpainting type things. All right, so she's got some pretty good stuff out there. You ought to check it out. Let's see. Let's go. I want to dish up these trees a little bit, so let's clean the filbert brush. So we'll change back to the number 8 filbert. We're going to deal with these trees back here to back first. But let me think about this. Let me think about what I want to do with that. So I'm thinking about adding some cad orange. Kind of lightly brushing that in right there. This is some cad orange and just a touch of titanium white. I'm going to mix it up a little bit though. Guess we'll make this an autumn scene. Let's add a little bit of red to this. Don't get too carried away with a lot of bright colors. A lot of bright colors will make your painting look kind of gaudy. It took me a while to figure my way through that. But I heard it a lot from Bob Ross and other people. Let's add some cad red to the let's do a couple things here. Let's mix up a couple colors. Let's add some cad red, and then let's use that to mix some rose color. We'll be moving to my little girl paintings here tomorrow. I think I'll be ready by tomorrow. I'm just contaminating the brush. Great. Built this beautiful palette to teach myself some palette discipline, and then I haven't really just spread a few maples in here amongst this group. All right, let's blend that out a little bit. Hey, Amy. How are you? How are you doing today? It's been a rainy day here in Kentucky, but not too bad. It's been a little rainy, but we needed some rain badly. I have a garden, so my water bill I put 3,000 gallons of water into my garden last month, which the water company was just more than glad to. They'll probably send me a freaking Christmas card this year. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, we're just softening these edges. Softening these edges just a little bit. Bringing that orange and that red together now. Excuse me. And that red and that. All right. Now we're just going to kind of start to soften this out a little bit. Pick up some cad orange along with some Indian yellow to kind of mix up with this color. And keep these colors moving around. We don't want a lot of detail back there. That's way off in the distance there, so I'm not trying to get too much color. I think we'll add a little more blue up to this corner though. Keep everything in this painting soft, soft, soft. There we go. Let's add some rose, a little rose color we mixed up here on the side. Let's try that a little bit. Yeah. And then, do I have any sap green? Yeah. Pulling a little bit of sap green here. There'll still be some greenery out here in the fall. That'll give us a little more dark to push up against that brightness and kind of thin it down. or mute it a little bit so it's not so candy colored. There we go. There we go. If you guys have any questions, just put them up there. Normal rain. We could use some rain. We need a lot of rain. We don't need a flood, but we do need some rain for sure. My garden's suffering. Even with me watering it every day, and I do water it every day for hours on end, and the birds love it. They love me. They get out there. They'll fuss at me when I come out in the yard to get out there and turn the sprinklers on. And until I do, and then they get out there and they run back and forth through the sprinklers and come and sit on my chair and sit on the edge of the bird bath and fuss at me and fuss at each other and act like birds act. They're pretty funny. I love my birds. I got a bunch of them. I have 4 pairs of cardinals and 2 pairs of blue jays. I have a couple of pairs of goldfinches. All right, let's add some. Tell you what, though, I want to come back up in here just a little bit. I'm not going to clean the brush out. If you follow when I do like a Bob Ross style painting, I tend to wash my brush a lot, but not so much in this glazing over kind of painting. Too much. Let's just put a couple of little yellow. Do both sides of the brush here. This is like all right. Adding a little bit of splash yellow in there a little bit. My monitor's spinning, so I hope I'm still broadcasting. All right, let's work these trees now. Let's bring these other trees up here. So let's start off with we're just lightly bringing this glaze on top. Glazing this cad yellow in. And it's playing on that brown, so it's looking a little bit green. That's good. So we'll introduce this, bring some rose in on top of that. So yeah, the summertime garden it's in the replant phase. I usually start replanting about this time, putting new plants in the ground. Things that I've grown up in my nursery over time, over the season. So that stuff's getting put down into new planters, and marigolds are getting cut back and then replanted. So they're looking pretty good. Let all that stuff go, and it just gets stalky, right? So don't want to just let it go. We're still just tapping here with the number 8 filbert, softening it up as we go. Let's put a little bit of green up in there. That's a little too dark, so let's take some green and add just a touch of yellow to it. There we go. Let's do it on both sides. Maybe a little more green. There we go. Let's try that. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it's okay. We'll come back and put another highlight on top of that in a minute. But let's just kind of lay that in as another mid-tone layer. do too much right in here yet because we want to put some tree trunks and stuff in there. So. Of course, the more you type this, the softer it's going to get. All right, let's put a couple tree limbs and stuff in there, tree trunks and stuff. Any questions? How do you make your barn so straight? No, well, yeah, I use this. It's a dowel rod, and I just lay it on the canvas like that. Get it in the angle I want. Draw it. I still draw it freehand, but I use that to steady my hand. That's the only way I can do it. That's why this one right here is not so straight. But I'm going to try to fix that as I'm painting today. We'll see if I can. Try to straighten it out a little bit. All right, let's see. I need a little bit of medium. All right, let's see if let's test this. Let's see how it looks. You know me, I don't like to draw any straight trees, so there we go. I'll add a couple back up in here. Yeah. All right, that'll work. Don't want too many. Don't want too many, just a few. Yeah, I'm not good at drawing straight lines. And honestly, in art, I don't see in nature too many straight lines. My trees are usually not very straight because I don't see any straight trees. You know what Bob Ross used to say, straight trees, you know what happens to them? They get made into telephone poles. So I don't want to make any of my buddies turn into telephone poles. So, you know, all right, let's see. I'm going to tap that little bit of a darker green right in here. Just a little bit. And then we're going to come back with some widths. That's good. I'm going to wipe the brush out. I'm not going to clean it. I'm just going to wipe it out. And wipe it off. And let's glaze some red trees in here a little bit. Against that red. Against that green. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just going to try to touch this yellow and soften it just a little bit. That area. I think I want to bring a little bit more yellow highlight in. Just right here on this edge. Just the tip. Just the tips of that. There we go. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and put some grass in on this side over here a little bit. Just glazing this in really light. We'll let that run up in that shadow. We'll pull some of that shadow down so the ground kind of runs up into the shadow. You can hear me scrubbing it just a little bit probably, because we're just kind of riding over the top of what we already got. Just flip the brush over. Here's the other side. And soften that layer just a tad. All right, now let's add a little bit more yellow and a little bit of different play of yellow. And then let's add some darker green back to that. I'm going to create like these little layers. Kentucky is a lot like that. It's very layered. We have a lot of layers. All right, so we're going to add some burnt umber to this green as we move down into these shadows. some more green. Oh, you know what? I can make some green. Let's see. Let's get some blue. And let's just make some yellow. Let's try this. There we go. We don't have to get out no green. We can make our own. All right. Okay. Hey, Jane. Okay, Bruce. That's why we upload it. You guys can watch it when you want. All right. Let's tell you what. Let's just go ahead and stay with that a little bit. Let's get that green going that we have going. We're just making that out of some cad yellow and some ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue is a very expensive color to make. Very expensive. Matter of fact, ultramarine blue back in the day, in the old masters, it was so expensive that they reserved it only for use on Mother Mary's robe. That's how expensive it was. So even though it's expensive today, it was more expensive then. It was a lot more expensive then. Alright, I'm going to darken this green up a little bit because I'm going to add some shadows in around. There we go. Around these trees. I'm going to put some darker grass and stuff in here in a little while, but we're not in a big hurry. Let's create a little bit of a hillside here. We'll get on it. We got some on the tree, and that's okay, because I don't want to create a halo around these trees. You know, like where you painted right up to the tree, but you like right there, there's a halo. We're going to take that away. Because we don't really need to do that. We're going to add, we can erase that, more or less, in a minute. We can wipe it out as fast as we boil it in. All right. Let's keep going. So we're still darkening it up a little bit more on this side. We'll add some other stuff to it here in a minute. See, I'm kind of moving it around, moving the color around, stealing from one place, adding to another. I'm doing the same thing on the palette. I'm painting in a puddle. Doing quite a bit of puddle painting over here. If you don't know what that means, it means that all the colors are getting blended in the same puddle. Pretty much. All these greens, and I did mix the reds and yellow in a different puddle, but all right. Okay. Yep. Let's come over to this side. Now this side's going to be a little more in shade than up there because the sun's still back over the way there. Let's go ahead and put these in. Let's just put some color in here. Just kind of keep adding the color in just a couple, just seeing where there's some highlighted spots and kind of adding color in right there. As long as I got it on the brush. A little bit right there, not too much. All right. Okay. Any questions at this part? Yet. I missed a spot. We're going to fix it right now, though. I missed the spot. Right here. Where that sunshine there. Alright. Okie dokie. Let's clean the brush again. And then we're going to blend all this. And then we'll start putting some more paint on. We're going to blend it, and then we're going to do the white back, and then we're going to come back and blend it some more. And then we're going to start adding some more paint. So let's do that. Let me get my hands clean first. So these underpainting, you might say, why do you go to all the trouble to underpaint it? Well, It allows you to lay out a map of your painting. I paint a lot out of my head, but as I'm moving into some more complex stuff, I find that it's easier for me to take it out of my head and put it into a sketch, and then take it from a sketch, and then just, I mean, I can always add up more stuff as I go. Like, for instance, I've been thinking I'm going to add another tree in here. So we'll do that. It's easy enough to do. We're just wiping this green back out of these trees using a Q-tip. And that way, we got the tree in front of the grass without having a halo around it, without creating that halo effect. So that works out really good. A little bit up here on the barn, or the covered bridge, the barn. Well, it kind of looks like a barn. But plus, it allows you to do, you know, kind of a value study. You can say where's the darks and the light's going to be, and all that kind of stuff. We're going to wipe some of this darker green back up off of this grass. We're going to put in here, because actually that's going to be lighter than the rest of it by the time we're done. When it's all said and done. I don't have to get it all in one shot, but we'll just go ahead and wipe some of it back while we're at it. It doesn't really matter. We don't have no rules. We don't follow no rules. All right, let's get let's put the trees in the background. These little bushes and things. So let's start off with some of the more red colors. I'll tell you what, let's try this. Let's take this mid-tone red and kind of put this in here on these trees. Just to kind of ran out of paint. Thought that might happen. I want it to be a little darker on this side, but we'll still add some red in here. That'll work out really good right there. That's good. All right, now let's take some alizarin crimson and some cad red. And kind of add like some reflective light back in here a little bit. Maybe even on these bushes. Let's do that. Let's take some cad red and put on these bushes. Let's add that. Let's add that all the way across like that. Get all this. So this is alizarin crimson. I've been using quinacridone red a lot lately. I mean magenta lately. But this is actually alizarin crimson. Now you might want to know why quinacridone red, and the reason is because it's more light fast than alizarin crimson. All right, now we're gonna create a highlight color. Hopefully, let's create a highlight color here for this red. I don't want it to be too bright, but I don't want it to be too. Nope. I still don't like that. Let's try it again. There we go. I want this to kind of light up on the sunlight there. On this side, they're going to be on. This side we're going to highlight, but the highlight is going to be actually darker than the other highlight. But now I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to add a little bit of shadow. I'm going to leave this color on the brush for now. I'm going to pick up a different brush. Let's pick up this filbert. I'm going to try a little bit of this. And we're just adding some dioxazine purple to this shadow. In almost every shadow, if you examine shadows, whether they're in paintings or they're on the ground, or if you look, I mean, there's like this desire, I guess, to want to you go right to black and make your shadows. But in almost every shadow, there's an element of purple in it. So if you can incorporate that into your painting versus black. Black's such a dead color, right? So if you kind of incorporate something into that, it'll give you a much more rich shadowing effect. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so let's do the tree, and then we'll do these trees, and then let's do the barn, because it's farther back, and then we'll come out and do this. We'll put in some bushes, and we'll put some highlights and stuff on here before we're done. Kind of loosen up some of this that I put in earlier. Sound good? Nobody said anything? Are y'all still out there? Is everybody still alive? Has the zombie apocalypse come without me? Let's see. Let's go to... Tell you what. I'm going to switch to a flat because I want to incorporate... That brush is in the wrong bin. Let's go to a flat. Tell you what, rather than go to a flat, let's go to a flat. Let's go to an angled flat. So I got this brand new angled flat today for my portrait course, but I'm going to use it on my landscape first. I reckon. Let me get the label off of it. So Princeton, number 3, angle flat. Probably got a fancy name. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a flat, it's an angle bright. My brain was saying bright, but my mouth was not. All right, so let's pick up some. All right, that's not going to work. I have the right color. We're going to switch to. I want this barn. Emily mentioned something to me on the last painting about taking the barn to like a gray color. So let's do that. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's start off in the shadowy area a little bit. Let's just kind of. I'm not going to add any medium to this just yet. We're just going to lightly angle this in. Oh, just a light glaze right over the top. I think the first barn I ever painted was a lesson by Wilson Bickford in 2016. All right, now I'm going to use this striper dagger brush, and we'll put some lines in that in a little while. All right, so let's see. We're just going to put the color on first, and then we'll worry about the rest of it. Too much paint right there. Not a lot of paint on this. Not a lot of paint. And what paint we do have, we're going to push around quite a bit. So let's go on this side. This side's going to be the lighter side, so we'll come back to it in a minute. Just getting the mid-tones and some of this dark put in. Check for questions. What kind of brushes do you use the most in doing small bushes? For small bushes, a filbert, absolutely a filbert. I like the filbert a lot, but really, I just like the way the filbert lays the things out. But in truth, you can use, hey Thomas, you can use almost any kind of brush to make almost any kind of an effect. It's just a matter of taking that brush and fooling with it until you get it to where you want it to be. Does that make sense? Now we're going to lighten this side of the building up just a little bit. And we're going to mix this color, picking up a little bit of that red off the bushes and carrying that up so that it's kind of reflective light onto the barn. So it's kind of coming in this way and it's picking up on those bushes and then it's kind of reflecting a little bit in the barn. I don't know if you'll be able to see that too much, but you definitely, if you were sitting in front of the painting, you could see it. All right, let's bring a little bit more light right here to this edge of the barn. And then we're going to add some more shadows back in. Yeah, there we go. All right. So this is where the underpainting really starts to give you some payback. Some of these, you couldn't see it so much in the landscape part, but all of that undertone is what's causing so many those shadows and dark to kind of mix up really well right there on the front of the building. Oh, my cat's looking for me. I'm down here, bud. He thinks he is the boss of me. He's pretty sure of it. I know Anthony's animals are the boss of him, for sure. I know he tries to, like, I think he runs and hides so they can't find him when he's painting, but I'm pretty sure from other pictures that they're the boss of him. Tell me if I'm wrong, Anthony. Tell me if I'm wrong. All right. We're getting close to... All right, so I'm just going to clean this brush off, and I'm going to go in here and blend this out now. Soften all this barn stuff up, all this barn texture up. Just kind of wiping the brush off. So much like I said, earlier I was blending with a fan brush, and later I was blending with a filbert, and now I'm blending with this little angle brush. You can make a brush do most anything you want it to do if you just practice with it. What? I can see you, but I'm doing something right now. Pest? All right, let's start working on the inside a little bit. Now we don't want this inside to be too dark, but because there is light shining through it. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this color in here. What? I'm going to have to go shut the door in a minute, or he's just going to keep on. Alright, now comes the question as to whether I can fix this board. So let's pick up our color and let's just kind of bring it down like this to start with. And kind of paint toward it and see if we can narrow that board before we paint it back in. He owns the place, you just live there. Yeah, it's just kind of the same way with my cat. Same way. I know it was that way with Emily Jean's cat. Now that I see that she's on. Emily's like, Militia, stop it, but she doesn't stop. She just keeps right on. Just like Midnight does. So we're going to add some ultramarine blue to this mixture. Kind of set this shadow in up here. And I think we'll add some purple to it too. To create that nice, strong shadow back up in there. Oh Lord, now he's going to go tell on me he's a brat. And then that'll lead to Wendy coming down and saying, you need to do something with your cat. Like, I can't do nothing with it. He won't stop. Alright, now let's soften that. Let's just kind of. So I've just wiped the paint right off of the brush. You see it's still blue, but pretty much I've just wiped the color off on the. See, there's not a lot of paint on this brush. We're just gonna blend that line shut. Pull it down a couple different directions here. It's a little too bright right there on the inside. Nope, I just knocked my microphone off. This is the, you don't want too dark a shadow, but you don't want too light a shadow. And over there we got, in this part of the building we got, it's more light, so we'll put some color in here and then we'll lighten it. Kind of like we've done up here, although I really think that part ought to be more dark than light. So let's just kind of darken it. Alright, now we'll come back and we'll add some more shadows to that in a minute. Alright. Let's clean the brush. We're going to switch back now to a different brush. He's something. He's my buddy though. He's a good cat. I don't know anybody else who has a cat standing at the front door waiting for them when they come home. But he is. He does. When I come home, he's standing right at the front door waiting to greet me. And usually, wherever I am, that's where he wants to be. And it's not just when I'm painting, it's like all the time. He's like, all the time. So if I'm down here, he wants to be down here. If I'm in the studio, he wants to be in the studio. And if I'm outside, he doesn't want to go outside, but he wants to sit by the door and supervise me. And, you know, I don't care. He's a good guy. But yeah, and then if I don't say goodnight to him before I go to bed, he's asleep before me, but if I don't wake him up and tell him that I went to bed, he will come see where I went. He will come get me. He will come get me up. All right, let's do some little bit of touching up here. Let's do some finals things. Let's get this. Ooh, contaminated my brush. So I got another new brush today. I got this flat, this really small flat, to work on portrait stuff. So we'll see how that works out as I'm progressing through my course. I don't want to get too much going on because we have a show coming up in about a month. I don't want to have everything ready for that. So, all right, we want to start adding a little bit of texture into these boards. Not a lot on the front, because we're going to do that with the dagger striper. All right, let's get. How will we do that? Let's try this color. I'll mix up a color to run across the front. I could have done this probably with a dagger striper too, but all right. So this is more of a blue color than what's on the outside of the barn itself. But it does have the Payne's cream mixed in with it, so we'll highlight this in a minute after we get it on, after we get the color on here and blend it some. Emily Jean, are you still there? Are you out there? I know the thunderstorms kind of really play havoc with her internet, but if you guys don't watch her channel, you should. She's awesome. She's got some fantastic paintings, just utterly fantastic. Right, I'm gonna bring some purple into this. Put the shadow in right along the edge of this barn. And then we're gonna bring it down the front of the barn. Well, we're going to if we put enough paint in the brush. Let's try it again. Right. There we go. There we go. All right, and then one more shadow on this front. No, so I'm gonna have to turn this because my left-handedness will not allow me to draw this evenly without. A little bit more purple, a little more purple than that. All right. All right, I don't think I have to add any more textures to that. I was going to add some more textures to the barn itself, but I don't think I will. I think I'm kind of happy with that. All right, let's do the. I'll tell you what, let's add a little bit of highlight to the barn boards on the struts. Just like right in here. Like that. And then we'll cut in some shadow, a couple little shadows. Let's cut one in like right here. Let's cut a shadow in. I may have to switch to a brush I'm more used to. There we go. I'm not used to how little paint this brush holds, because it holds just tiny little bits of paint. I'm just blending that line just a little bit. All right, now we put a little bit more shadow around this board. There we go. And then we're going to blend it. Make it nice and soft. And we're going to do the same thing with this front board. All right, and we're going to blend this. And blend this. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, now we're on our, let's do our trees, shall we? Hey, Carolyn, how are you doing? All right, let's work these trees. So we're just going to add this little bit of a shadow right here. You know, I was thinking about adding another tree, but I think what I'm going to do, I think I'll just add another branch, a great big branch to this tree. And then we'll add some more stuff to that. Yeah. And add some shadow right here around the base of the tree. I'm going to put some more stuff in there and like bushes and stuff, but let's just kind of put that in there for right now. All right, and then a little darker shadow here. Widen the tree out just a little bit, but mostly just to get that extra shadow in there. A little purplish shadow. All right, and let's blend all that, shall we? Then we'll start adding the color. Just blend this out. Get nice and soft. Running right along the edge of that, the middle of the brush is running right along the edge of where the two colors come together. All right, let's add some shadow around this. And maybe, yeah, like some dark, let's add some dark, like right here in the pit of the tree. There we go. All right, now let's add some highlight. Let's clean that brush. And let's add some, is there any of this left? Let's try this. This is yellow ochre. I picked up some purple right there, so we're just going to blend that away. All right. And a little bit more yellow ochre on this side. Not a lot, just a tiny touch. All right. Start dealing with the colors. Before I do that, I got to take a quick break. It's time for me to eat. I'm diabetic, so I have to do that. I'll be right back, though. It won't take me a couple minutes, maybe 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Here we go. Oops, sorry guys. Made you fall over. My bad. How in the world did I manage to knock over that tree? There you go. I don't think I like that rip being that dark. But it's kind of dark. While I'm munching here, we'll think about what we're going to do about that. It doesn't look bad. Just tell you what, we'll just slash some highlight around it. It'll look better. A little extra highlight on that tree. Okay, let's get to it. Put just a little bit of highlight to this roof. Be careful though. Don't get too carried away. Because the front of it is probably not going to be highlighted. Here we go. All right, I like that better. Now let's clean that brush. Add a little bit to this tree. I wish Facebook would get their act together so I could see stuff on the monitor. It's so much easier for me. What can I use? Let's use this. Yeah, I like that better too. All right. Yeah, they're starting to pop out. I don't usually use a lot of bright colors, but they're kind of popping out on this one. All right. Let's do the trees. Start off with the orange. Tell you what, we'll start with the orange. There you go here. gloves again. No. He doesn't like that word too much. All right. What? I see you. I'm doing something right now. I see you and I hear you, but dude, I'm busy. When we get down here in this part of the tree, though, we want to kind of keep stuff a little bit dark. I'm going to add some dark back into this. It's too bright. So we're using some alizarin crimson cad red. I create this color, then we'll kind of work that color back, dark, a little more dark. Switching back and forth between darks and lights. So now what you're seeing right now is we'll just put some dark back in there. I'm going to switch to a larger filbert as soon as I clean this one. A wider filbert. And I'm going to need some more yellow. I'll tell you what. Let's switch to a little bit of this bismuth yellow. It's a yellow, more yellow. It's yellow. I mean, man, it's yellow. I'm going to use that to just add some texture to the grass. I was going to add some bushes, but I don't think I will. At least not on this side. All right, so I'm going to blend that just a little bit. I'm not kind of smearing it, I'm just patting it. patting it into the canvas on top of that green. Hey, Rosalie. All right. Let's work on this side. So we had some of the green we mixed up earlier. It's a little darker than that. Let's add a little more blue to that and see what use this for the darker inlay. Just we'll let some of that brown just show through that other color show through too. I'm kind of tapping the color in, and then I'm tapping over it to soften it. You know what? I probably should paint the road in a little bit. Let's do that. Let me finish this part though. All right, let's do some road. Let's do some road construction. Let's see. Let's get some dark sienna. And let's just start off brushing that and see what we get. This is really light color. I mean, as far as paint thickness, it's just a glaze going on the top. So we want it to kind of mid-tone onto the road, and then we're going to kind of add shadows to that and highlights. So let's just go ahead and put it on here. Keep that horizontal. Work on this side of the road. We'll be like real construction workers. We'll build it on one side of the road and then we'll work on the other side. Unless, of course, it's rush hour, and then we'll work on both sides and stop all the traffic. And then we're just going to kind of blend that out from that side. Blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, soften, 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 soften. All right. Now on this side, rather than working the side out, side in, we're going to start from the middle and work out like this. Because the road's kind of like rutted. It's a little bit ruddy. All right. Now we'll just kind of blend that in. Then let's finish establishing this mid-tone. Like that. Some dark right down here on the bottom. All right, then let's add some shadows to that, and we're going to do that with purple. This is dioxazine purple. Mixing in with the brown. So it's not really overpowering the brown so much as it is just kind of adding to it. adding to it. All right, let's blend all that out and make it nice and soft. We can add a couple holes in the road there if we want. All right, now let's add a little bit to the other side. And we want to kind of create this like a little bit of a hump shape. So we can show that the road is, you know, hump. There's a hump in the middle. All right. Let's just blend that all out nice and smooth. Then we'll add the highlights when we come back to that. All right. Who else still back? Rosalie. Okay. Just Rosalie still here because she was the last person to speak up. All right. Let's get the... This is a mid-tone. We'll add some dark to this, and then we'll add some more light to it as well. And actually, we can create a couple layers right there. Just by... All right, let's do some highlighting for this. Oh, maybe. Why not? Add some color in here, additional color. Sort of accidental than anything, but we'll pick that up. All right. Just a hint right there, not much. Okay, let's just add just a touch of highlight on this. All right, now we want to blend this shadow part back. So let me clean the brush. It took too long to paint this, I guess. People's attention spans are pretty short. But it takes as long as it takes to get it right. Or at least the way I like it. I'll tell you what, before I add some dark shadow, more shadow, let's smooth all this out. So we're just blending this edge, going back up in there, blending it out just a little bit here and there. All right, we'll add a little bit more dark, a little more dark in different places. We'll spread it out a little bit, but this is dioxazine purple again. All right, now let's add a little bit of highlight to the road itself, just to give it a little bit of... Not too much. Maybe a little bit of hint of that, like along this way. We'll put some more stuff in there in a minute. Alright, now let's blend all that down. So blend all this back in there. We want all this to fade. We don't want it to jump out there. We just want it to be there, but we don't want it to jump. So you'll see people blend with mops and all kinds of brushes. I tend to blend with the brush I'm using. But you blend with whatever works best for you. But remember this. Remember I said this. You'll blend best with the brush that you practice with the most. So the more you learn to do just about everything with just about every kind of brush, then the better off you'll be. All right. Okay, let's finish up this side here. And we'll be about getting there. All right, so we got some yellow and some green. I tell you what, I want to add some more color to this. So we've got some cat orange here, along with this yellow, and there's a little bit of green thrown in. Just to create a collision of color. A little bit. A little bit of red under that. Here and there. Here and there, there and here, as Bob would say. Now let's just try some green. So we mix up some green with some blue, some ultramarine blue, and some yellow, some bismuth yellow. Now we're just going to kind of keep alternating that as we go. We'll mix a little more blue, a little less yellow, a little more yellow, a little less blue as we go, just to give this grass some personality. Of course, you don't have to, if you don't want to tap it in, you can just brush it in. If that makes any sense, you can just a little more of that, a little more of this. I mean, let's face it, tapping is slow. You can stroke it in just as, it's a little bit different effect, but it'll work. It'll go. Whoa, got crazy with the yellow this time. All right, let's go. Let's go with it. All right, so I want to come right here with that. So let's just make a wedge. Let some of that dark show through. We want that to show through. Well, I didn't set up to make something that's so autumny, but I guess it kind of turned out that way when it was all done. But And you can see how much yellow I have on the brush. And we're just kind of tapping that in whenever I want to add a little bit more yellow to that or turn it a little more orange. I just push a little harder with the brush. Push some of that yellow down there. Alright, now let's just add a few more interesting things and then we'll call this one done. Let's add a couple little points of interest. Little points of interest. Let me clean that brush. Let me clean my other brush. And we'll do that. Let me clean that. Clean this filbert. Tell you what. Got some purple here on the filbert, so we're just going to add a little bit of shadow right there. And we'll clean that brush. Alright. Let's go with the dagger striper. Try that. So, before I do anything too weird, I want to kind of just, I've got just a little bit of medium on the end of the striper. I just want to pull a couple little things up. Just a couple little things, just pull them up. Pull some things up out of this little region. Maybe a few things over here. All right, now that done, let's just get a little bit of medium on here. We're not gonna, I don't think we'll have to add any paint. We'll find out, but I'll put some medium on there and then I just tapped it back out. So what I want to do, I just want to pull some things up in here. Little weed things, little weedy things. Not much of things, just little things to add some interest here and there. Maybe a few things out on the road. Oh, knocked my microphone off. My bad. All right. I got too much medium on there. Here we go. I got some of these things growing in my backyard, I'm pretty sure. Like, what the heck kind of weed are you? Didn't it just, may just come from nowhere, man. Just little things. Just little doers. Maybe a couple out here in the middle. It's, a little bit of medium. Just so they're not quite as, you know, just little things. Little things in nature that stick out, stick around, get in your way. Alright, I think I want to add a little bit more highlight up here, just on this hill. I'm going to call this a day. Alright, so let's just do that. Let's get just like that. Alright. Got nothing on this side of my brush, so I'm just going to use it to blend that back down smooth. Just like that. Alright. All right, guys. Hey, Bruce. Emily? Emily, I've been talking about you the whole time. I thought you were there. All right, guys. That's a done painting. Let's call it a day. Emily, I'll catch up to you in just a little bit. Thank you guys for sitting in, especially for those of you who stayed with me for so long. A lot different than it came out the first time, even though it was kind of the same, relatively kind of the same layout. But we'll. So our next painting is going to be another Summer Read painting of a little girl. They're reading her book during the summertime, or reading her however many books she can read in the summertime. A lot, I suspect. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do that on Thursday. Tomorrow I've got to work on all these lamps and get them ready to go. So hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll see you next time.